The apologies to Shedeur Sanders need to be just as loud as what the disrespect was. The disrespected will be respected. Shedeur Sanders earned his respect. He earned his stripes with his domination over the Panthers in the Browns' first preseason game. You want to know what the sign of an all-time great is? No matter the obstacles, no matter the adversity, they find ways to still persevere throughout all the odds being against them. Shedeur Sanders came out and dominated despite playing with guys that he had little to no chemistry and connection with. He got limited first-team reps all throughout minicamp, OTAs, and training camp. And it didn't matter. When you put an obstacle in Shedeur Sanders' way, he knocks it over. Deion Sanders tried to warn you. Everybody that had two functioning eyes that watched Shedeur Sanders play at Colorado for the past 2 years, that exact same player that you saw is the one that you saw tonight against the Browns. The elite accuracy, the ball placement, the calmness in the pocket. What really surprised me about Shedeur was how he seemingly got faster. He was moving out there. His athleticism was questioned coming out of the draft. Oh, he's an average athlete. He won't be able to move around like that against NFL defensive linemen. He was still spinning out of sacks. He was making guys miss. He was the Browns' leading rusher when he was in the game. The Browns have been searching for a franchise quarterback for over 2 decades, and they finally got one in Shedeur Sanders. Despite all the politics that the Browns tried to play, tried to justify their selection of Dillon Gabriel over Shedeur, tried to justify that Kenny Pickett was somehow better than him, despite being nothing more but a backup quarterback at best. Look at the end result. Look who has proven to be the best quarterback on the Browns. The numbers don't lie. That's what they always say. But somehow the numbers didn't matter when it came to Shedeur Sanders. Every time you looked at that Browns quarterback tracker after every Browns training camp session, Shedeur Sanders was better than them all. He's thrown the most touchdowns. He's been the most accurate. He has committed the least amount of turnovers throughout 2-3 weeks of training camp for the Browns. Oh, it's just practice. Well, look what he did in meaningful in-game action. Don't give me that BS about it's just the preseason. Because if Shedeur would have came out here and struggled, you would have been on his DICK talking about how he sucked, how he was overrated. Where you're drafted does not define the kind of player you are. Shedeur falling in the draft was just another chapter added to the story that he is continuing to write. You can't define somebody by narratives that are untrue. I know several people that went to Colorado and played with Shedeur Sanders, and he was nothing like the person that the media portrayed him out to be, the person that the media was attacking relentlessly for over 9 months. All Shedeur Sanders has done since he's been on the Browns is put his head down and grind. He's been the first person in the building and the last one out. That's what a franchise quarterback does. He's avoided all of the questions that were trying to provoke the narratives that everybody wanted to be true about him coming out of the draft. And I want to see the video evidence that Shedeur bombed these interviews. I truly believe that Shedeur Sanders should have been a first-round pick. There's no way, after what we seen tonight, that Tyler Suck should have been drafted over Shedeur. There's no way to justify, after how Shedeur Sanders balled out against the Panthers tonight, that Jalen Milroe should have got drafted ahead of him. There's no way that Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, and Browns owner Jimmy Haslam can look at Shedeur's performance tonight and not come to the conclusion that this is our quarterback of the future. The Browns have made so many mistakes at quarterback, from paying Diddy Watson to drafting Johnny Manziel to trading away Baker Mayfield. Shedeur Sanders has been able to come in and correct the sins and the mistakes that the Browns have made. If the Browns are ever going to get out of poverty again, Shedeur Sanders is going to be the one to lift them from up out of it. What you saw tonight was not a fluke. It wasn't luck. What you saw out of Shedeur Sanders in this preseason game against the Carolina Panthers was the exact same player that you saw light it up at Colorado. Shedeur Sanders, one thing that he doesn't do is lie. He tells the truth. And what did he tell you at the NFL Combine? If you want to change the culture of your franchise, you pick me. If you don't want to change the culture and you want to continue to lose, don't draft me. Everywhere Shedeur Sanders has gone, he's changed the culture. Before he got to Jackson State, nobody knew where the hell Jackson State was and who they were. They win the SWAC with Shedeur. When Shedeur gets to Colorado, in 2 seasons, he turns around a 1-win program into a 9-win program, which was by far the best season that Colorado has had in over 2 decades. They've only had 2 winning seasons. Shedeur was the one to give them that second winning season. Shedeur was the one who brought life to a dead community before he got there. When Dion said that he was bringing his Louis luggage, he brought the right luggage. He had the right items in the bag. Shedeur is a Lamborghini that the Browns never should have had. Shedeur should have been a first-round pick, but due to politics, they got blessed with the answer to their 2-decade-long curse. There's no more need to worry about Arch Manning or whoever else is coming out in next year's draft at quarterback. You need to focus on developing the one that you have, because history tells us the Browns don't know anything about what a good quarterback looks like, but they have one right now, and you have one for a very great bargain. And you better enjoy the cheap deal that you get out of Shedeur Sanders, because in 2 years from now, he's going to break the bank as he should, and he's going to make you pay. Shedeur Sanders right now is already better than any quarterback on the Saints, anybody on the Indianapolis Colts. I don't care if it's the preseason. If I was a head coach and my job was on the line and I needed to get a quarterback who can win, and my options are Shedeur, Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, Spencer Rattler, or Tyler Shuck, I'm taking Shedeur Sanders. Everybody who watched Shedeur at Colorado is not surprised about the domination that he put on display against the Panthers. He put on the absolute clinic tonight. Rather, if you're a hater or if you're a fan, you have to agree what Shedeur Sanders did tonight was legendary. No first-team reps, barely any at all, playing with guys that he doesn't really know that much about, and it didn't matter, because that's what an all-time great does. An all-time great doesn't make excuses to fail. An all-time great finds ways to succeed in spite of all the odds being against them, and that's what Shedeur Sanders did tonight. Shedeur is going to go down as one of the biggest draft day steals in NFL history. When his career is all said and done and we close the chapter on Shedeur Sanders' football career, he's going to be up there with the likes of Tom Brady. He's going to be up there with the likes of Joe Montana. Why am I so confident in this? Why do I believe Shedeur Sanders will be great? Because look at the name that he carries on the back of his jersey. When are you guys going to realize that it's a mistake to doubt anybody with that Sanders last name? You doubted Dion, and he won. You're doubting Shedeur, and he's dominating despite all the odds. The apology, we're waiting, NFL. It needs to be louder than the disrespect. You tried to tell us that Shedeur Sanders was not worthy of a first-round pick. You tried to tell us somehow that Jackson Dart and Tyler Suck and Dylan Gabriel were better quarterback prospects than Shedeur Sanders. One thing that can't be denied is the film. And the film tonight shows us that Shedeur Sanders not only was a first-round caliber pick, but that Shedeur Sanders has what it takes to be a great quarterback in the NFL.